The movie begins by showing a group of soldiers who are carrying a cargo to a forbidden area. They rush to guard the cargo that they will deliver. But while on the way, they are careless and do not see a car coming from the opposite direction. Then the car hits their truck and causes a big explosion. Because of the accident, they decide to stop for a while because there are some victims from them who died due to the accident. Then the captain calls their boss to tell them that his team just had an accident, and the cargo they were carrying was opened. Hearing that, their boss immediately ordered his men to stay away from the container, but they were too late because suddenly a zombie emerged from the darkness and devoured one of the soldiers who was about to check the container. Seeing his colleague killed by the zombie, the remaining 2 soldiers tried to escape with their limp legs. They ran with all their strength, thinking that they were free from the zombie that was chasing them. They decided to rest for a while, but as soon as they rested, the zombie that chased them earlier appeared suddenly, and they were both devoured and turned into zombies like him. The 3 zombies had a plan to establish a zombie kingdom in Nevada. Then the scene shifted to a large man named Scott, who owned a burger restaurant in the city. When he was serving his customers, he was approached by a man who introduced himself as Bly Tanaka. Hearing his name, Scott invited him to sit and asked his purpose and intention of approaching him. He said that he had a vault that contained $200 million. The vault was buried in the basement of his casino in Nevada. The problem was that the government had withdrawn some of the military in Nevada due to the zombie outbreak that was spreading there. Tanaka will give $50 million if Scott and his team are willing to take the risk of opening the vault. Tanaka then gives a blueprint of his vault and asks Scott to think carefully about his offer. After giving the blueprint, Tanaka leaves. Then the scene changes to a quarantine camp where Scott's daughter Kate is. She is there because she ran away from her home after seeing Scott kill his own wife, who had turned into a zombie. The movie shows Scott still remembering how he killed his wife. Then he wakes up because he gets a phone call from Tanaka, who asks for his confirmation. Without thinking long, Scott agrees to Tanaka's offer to break into his vault. Hearing that, Tanaka is very happy and tells Scott to find a helicopter pilot and a safecracker. He starts with a mechanic named Maria who is his friend. Scott explains the mission he will offer to Maria and the amount of money they will get from the mission. Hearing the fantastic offer, she has no reason to refuse. Finally, Maria joins the mission. Then Scott approaches a man named Vanderohe, who is his former friend when they were on duty. Vanderohe was offered a lot of money by Scott, who needed the money at that time. He finally overcame his fear of zombies and joined the team that Scott would build. 3 people had become part of the team to look for Tanaka's last vault. Scott then approached a woman named Marianne. She was famous for her skill in flying helicopters. He offered her $2 million, and of course Marianne accepted the offer. Then Scott approached a safecracker named Ludwig. They went to a locksmith shop where they met Ludwig. Seeing the blueprint that Scott brought, Ludwig was amazed, and he was sure that he was the only locksmith who could open the vault. He didn't care about the money he would get. The most important thing was that he could join the heist of Tanaka's vault. And the last person who joined the team was a streamer named Guzman. He was a brave person who could kill zombies in front of his internet viewers. After the team was assembled, they prepared their equipment. Tanaka explained that on the roof of his casino, there was an emergency helicopter that they could use to escape from the zombies. He also told them that the mission was very easy if the team could work together and protect each other. He explained that after they entered the city of Nevada, they had to move to the Strip until they arrived at the casino. Inside the casino, they had to pass a trap that was not too hard to pass, and there they would meet the work of the legend Hans Wegner. All the preparations were done. Everyone knew what they had to do to reach their goal. At the end of the meeting, a man named Martin suddenly came and introduced himself as Tanaka's head of security. He asked them to call him if they needed anything. That night, Scott met with his daughter Kate. He asked her permission to bring his team into the camp so they could get out of the city. Kate refused because she still hated her father who killed her mother. But after Scott persuaded her, she finally agreed. And the next day she brought Scott and his team to a person named Lily. There, Lily would lead the team to the city border. Vanderohe was seen trying to teach Ludwig how to use a gun, but suddenly Kate got angry with Lily because she deliberately took a woman named Gita out of the city. She then hit Lily, angry because Gita went out of the city to a very dangerous place. Not wanting to lose Gita, Kate decided to join the team. Scott rejected Kate's request because he didn't want his daughter to have to deal with zombies again, but Kate insisted on her decision, and Scott reluctantly brought her into the team with the condition that she was not allowed to be far from him. Lily was shown discussing their team. Lily thought that they still needed one more member, so she recruited a quarantine guard with a payment of $20,000. Of course, the guard immediately accepted the offer from Lily. After all the equipment was complete, they started moving towards the quarantine border with an uncertain feeling. Slowly, the team moved out of the city. As soon as they arrived outside, they heard a roar from a zombie tiger. Seeing the tiger, the whole team hid. Lily explained that the tiger was a pet of one of the zombie kings who ruled the place. After that, the tiger left. Then suddenly, Lily approached the quarantine guard and borrowed his pistol, then shot him until he was in pain. The people were shocked and asked why Lily did that. She explained that in the city they had to sacrifice something to show their obedience to the king. The zombies in the city were not like what people thought. They had a force called Alpha that could think and move fast. And sure enough, after the quarantine guard was tied up and left helpless, 2 zombies suddenly appeared and took the guard, who was in pain. The king and queen were seen approaching the guard, and the king immediately dragged him far to their palace, while the queen just stared at the team to indicate that the area was their territory. After the guard was dragged far enough, the queen slowly retreated and disappeared. Lily considered it as a code that the queen had allowed them to enter, and they moved on. Seeing the incident, Ludwig and some of his team members began to panic. The scene shifted to Scott, who had entered a very dark building. When the lights were turned on, he was shocked to see a lot of zombies sleeping. Lily told them that they were hibernating and asked them not to touch the zombies. At first, everything went smoothly, and some of the team members had managed to pass the horde of zombies. But when Chambers passed the horde of sleeping zombies, she accidentally bumped into one of them, waking him up. Seeing that, Chambers then killed him slowly, but it turned out that the other zombies woke up and tried to attack her. She could handle the horde of zombies, but the number of zombies increased and she began to be overwhelmed. His team began to worry when they did not see Chambers's presence at all. Then they were suddenly startled by the sound of gunfire caused by Chambers, who was trying to escape from the horde of zombies. However, her effort failed, and the zombies started attacking her until finally none of the team members could save her. Because there was no chance, Chambers then told their colleagues to run away, and then the bomb exploded very loudly. After they managed to get out of the building, the team finally arrived at the casino. As soon as they arrived, Scott immediately assigned tasks to each of his colleagues. He and Kate went to the backup generator of the casino, while Van der Rohe and Ludwig went to the vault. Maria and Marianne went to the roof of the casino to prepare the helicopter, and Martin and Lily stayed outside the casino. Ludwig, Guzman, and Van der Rohe seemed more eager to kill the zombies they encountered on their way to the vault, while Martin and Lily suddenly saw the Queen and her minions staring at them. They saw them as a threat. Martin and Lily quickly got ready and raised their weapons. When the Queen moved, Martin shot a net gun that hit the Queen. Seeing their Queen in pain, her minions quickly jumped at Martin, and Lily killed them. After killing her minions, Martin approached the Queen and cut off her head. Seeing that, Lily asked why he did that. Martin answered that his boss valued a lot of money if someone could bring the Queen's head. Scene changed to the basement. They finally saw the last obstacle, which was a trap in the vault. Van der Rohe brought a zombie to be their sacrifice, but the zombie he brought tried to fight back, so Guzman had to shoot him. Then Van der Rohe brought another zombie that was more obedient to them. When the zombie walked slowly, a gun appeared from behind the wall and shot the zombie. They passed all the traps, and then the last trap appeared, which was a wall that suddenly narrowed. The zombie was instantly crushed to nothing. Feeling that all the traps were gone, they started the process of breaking into the vault, while the others gathered under the casino. After they finished their tasks there, they watched TV that reported that the government had set a bombing on Nevada, and they only had 90 minutes left to get out of the city. Because of the limited time, Scott urged Marianne to finish the helicopter that she was trying to fix. Then they followed Ludwig, who was trying to open the vault. But their presence distracted him, and he failed to open the 4 locks. He told them that if he made another mistake, the vault would be locked forever. They finally decided to take a break while waiting for Ludwig to do their job first, preparing a way out for them to escape. But on the other hand, the king of all zombies found the body of his queen, whose head had disappeared. Seeing his queen killed like that, the king went berserk. He brought her body back to his kingdom and checked her belly, which turned out to be pregnant with a baby. But the baby was dead because its mother had been killed. Then the king mobilized his entire army to surround the casino. The team, who were happy because Ludwig had opened the vault quickly, moved all the money from the vault. They wanted to move fast because they only had 20 minutes left. After all the money was taken, the team started to move. But when Maria opened the elevator door, suddenly dozens of zombies came out unexpectedly and killed Maria very cruelly. After Scott defeated some of the zombies, they quickly looked for a way out of there. But unfortunately, Martin left them all locked up and left. Seeing this, they tried to get out of there by cutting through the wall with a chainsaw that Van der Rohe had brought. Unfortunately, when Van der Rohe and Ludwig were fending off the zombies, the zombie king suddenly came and attacked them both. They tried to shoot the zombie king's head, but because he wore a steel helmet, they couldn't kill him. So Van der Rohe had to fight the zombie king with his bare hands. When the zombie king was about to bite Van der Rohe's arm, Ludwig suddenly came and hit the zombie king. Then he sacrificed himself so that he could save Van der Rohe by putting him in Hans's vault. On the other hand, when Martin was about to escape from there, he tried to take the head of the zombie queen. But without him realizing it, Lily had previously swapped the head of the zombie queen with a money counter. Shortly after that, the zombie tiger that was guarding outside came up to him and attacked Martin mercilessly. Then when Scott, Lily, and Guzman managed to get out of the vault, they planned to go straight to the roof. But because the zombies managed to chase them, they had to fight the zombies first. Unfortunately, Guzman was bitten by one of the zombies, so he gave up himself by detonating all the grenades on his body, so that Scott and Lily could escape from the attack of the zombies. When the two of them reached the roof, the zombie king managed to catch up with them. Then, Lily took out the queen zombie's head to threaten the king. He told Scott to get to the helicopter quickly, but suddenly the king zombie threw his spear and pierced Lily's body. Reluctantly, Lily let go of the queen zombie's head, and it fell from the building and shattered. Meanwhile, Kate successfully found Gita, who was being held captive by the king zombie in his headquarters. But when they tried to get out, a zombie came and bit one of them. After Kate killed the zombie, the king zombie arrived with some of his followers and attacked Kate and Gita. Kate fought the zombies and managed to defeat them all. Now only the king zombie was left. When the king zombie was about to attack them, Scott came and shot a grenade that caused a huge explosion. When they got to the roof, they thought that Marianne had left them, but luckily she still had a conscience and came back to save the three of them. But without them realizing it, the king zombie was still alive, and he jumped into the helicopter. Scott tried to fight the zombie with all his might, but unfortunately he was bitten before he shot the king zombie's head. Soon after, a rocket bomb flew across the sky and exploded. The impact of the explosion made the helicopter lose control, and they crashed. When Kate woke up from her unconsciousness, she realized that Marianne and Gita had died, and only Scott and herself survived the crash. But sadly, because Scott was bitten by the king zombie, Kate had to shoot Scott's head when he started to show signs of turning into a zombie. On the other hand, Van der Rohe finally got out of the vault after the nuclear blast destroyed all the buildings there. After walking quite far, he saw a car and planned to go abroad with some bags of money worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But when he was on the plane, he suddenly felt very dizzy. Then he went to the toilet, and there he realized that he had been bitten by the king zombie. And the movie ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Because by subscribing, you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.